is not my typical content, but this is something that I need to say. To my fellow Americans, I want to take a moment to acknowledge my mistake and express my deep regret for voting for President Trump. When I cast my vote, I genuinely believed that I was making a choice that would help our country. God. I believe the promises about lowering inflation, fixing the economy, and putting America first. I thought I was supporting somebody who would bring strength and stability. But now I see that I was misled. I had the wool pulled over my eyes, and I fell for the empty promises instead of looking at the reality of his actions. The truth is, I was naive. I failed to see through the lies, the fear-mongering, and the divisiveness. I ignored the warnings from those who did see this coming. I didn't fully grasp the damage that could have been done, not just to our economy, but to our democracy, to our institutions, and to the very fabric of our society. And now, looking at everything that has happened, I have an overwhelming sense of regret. Yeah. I am deeply sorry for the part I have played to enabling someone who has caused so much harm. The attack on our democracy, the blatant disregard for the rule of law, and the spreading of misinformation, corruption, and cruelty that has led us all to a darker and more divided space.
Not me. Ain't no darker.
I can no longer ignore the reality of what has happened under Trump's leadership. I see how he's exploited people's fears, turned Americans against each other, prioritized his own power over the well-being of our nation. To those who have warned me, to those who have suffered under his policies, to those who have fought tirelessly to preserve our democracy, I owe you an apology. I should have listened. I should have done more research, and I should have recognized the signs. I let myself be deceived, and I take full responsibility of that. I also wanted to say that I'm committed to doing better. I won't be fooled again. I will make my future voting decisions based on facts, integrity, and the true needs of our country rather than some political spin. I will listen more, question more, and ensure that I will never allow myself to be swayed by empty promises. Our country deserves better, and I want to be part of the solution rather than the problem. I know that words cannot undo the damage, but I hope that by acknowledging my mistake and taking responsibility, that I can encourage others to reflect as well. We have to learn from this. We have to hold our leaders accountable, and most importantly, we have to come together to heal and rebuild America. One that values truth, justice, and unity. Again, I am truly sorry, and I will do better. We all deserve better.
Girl, get the fuck.
Hey, TikTok, I'm just on here trying to see if anyone else is feeling how I am feeling. I mean, it's the gas prices and the electric bills and the food. I work overtime, and I just feel like I can't get my head above water, and I just want to know if anybody is feeling like they are drowning. Oh. Bull fucking hoe! You voted for that orange turd, and there you go. There you go. You want one of these pastries I got over here? I got a cupcake.
Alright, so we just saw it. Some MAGA voters finally admitting they messed up. And then others just straight up mocking them for it. But here's the thing. This isn't just about few people changing their minds. This is about FAFO. F around and find out. These are the same people who voted for policies that hurt others, cheered on the chaos, and acted like it didn't affect them. And now the tables are turning and the reality is hitting hard. Today we are diving deep into MAGA regret, seeing who's actually owning up, who's still clueless, and who's getting exactly what they voted for. From genuine apologies to brutal mockery. From karma hitting hard to the cold truth no one wants to say. This video got it all. So buckle up because it's about to get messy, funny, and painful, satisfying. Stick around, watch the reaction, and see FAFO in full effect. And yeah, hit that like button, subscribe, and share if you are here for unfiltered truth. Let's go into the video.
Okay, so it's going to be story after story after story about how Trump used you for your vote and played in your face. Pennsylvania, how you feeling now? Farmers, how y'all feeling now? You didn't believe him when he said? Oh, you didn't do the math. You just went to the rallies, wore all the red shit, and laughed and cheered when he made fun of other people, not realizing that shit he was talking about, you are the people. How does it feel now? If it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. Sad and funny. Mostly funny. Mostly funny. We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you. He's not even fucking sworn in yet. And all this shit is coming to pass. Now y'all stuck with this shit. You decided that you hated me, my lifestyle, and the border, and the price of eggs and gas. You decided you hated that more than the man who has conned you. How does it feel? How does it feel? And you know what? Get used to this kind of way that people are going to be talking to you. We don't fucking care. We don't fucking care. Farmers said they still recovering from the tariffs he put on them when he was president the first time. Everybody knows avocados and tomatoes come from Mexico. Everybody knows that. What he said Justin Trudeau said, your tariffs will mean harder economic hardship for Canada. Trump said, well, become the 51st state and you can be the governor. This is the choice. This is the choice that has been made by you, MAGA. You decided for the rest of the country that all the shit that he hated, you hated, not realizing what you don't have in your pocket. You ain't gonna never get what little you had in your pocket. If it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. Oh, right, we determined that it was funny. And some of y'all are still, I don't care, I will take one for the team. If it means, you don't even know what it means. You don't. All you know is you hate the border crisis that was manufactured. And you hate me, and you hate how I'm living my life. You think me and the people that's coming across the border took something from you that you never fucking had. Or at least you were convinced. So now you're going to have to stand 10 toes down in your tomfoolery. Because I'm not going to suffer. But I bet you will.
I keep seeing video of MAGA saying that they regret their vote. And at first, I was actually a little hopeful. But then I listened longer and then realized, oh, you're not mad that other people got hurt. You're just mad because it didn't play out the way you had imagined. You didn't care when families were separated, when your LGBTQ neighbors lost their rights, when people unalived because of inadequate health care, and when entire communities are criminalized just for existing. Now you're mad because the Epstein files didn't drop and you didn't get your liberal takedown that you have been drooling over. Your favorite conspiracy didn't give you the satisfaction that you were promised, and now you're all like, that's not what I voted for. You weren't seeking justice, you were seeking revenge, and you feel cheated. I have seen maybe a couple people actually challenge their beliefs, but most are still fully on board with the cruelty. Still completely fucking warped in their thinking. Regret isn't about the damage done to others, it's about you not getting the win that you thought you would. So yeah, regret is a start. But if it doesn't lead to empathy, accountability, and actual change, it's just another tantrum dressed in a different outfit.
Okay, so now we are getting into the real talk. It's one thing to see a MAGA voter saying, yeah, I messed up. But it's another thing when someone actually watches closely and realize they haven't really changed. This is the core problem. They regret getting caught, not the ideology itself. It's like watching someone trip over their own feet, then blaming the floor instead of realizing they weren't paying attention. And that's why these reactions are so satisfying, because this isn't just personal regret anymore, it's a pattern repeating itself over and over. People cheer for chaos, laugh at others' misfortune, and now the same system they supported is showing them what that actually means. So while some of these apologies seem heartfelt, the reality is clear. MAGA voters didn't suddenly become thoughtful or considerate. Most of them just got caught in the consequences of their own choices. And that, my friends, is classic FAFO. F around, find out. So stick with me because you're about to see the reactions get even harsher and the truth doesn't get any softer than this. Let's continue.
MAGA Republicans, those are the people I don't want to share the party with.
Last question, Pumps. So when you start meeting with your constituents and doing all the things that you're doing, are you seeing working people in Maine that feel like that if they voted for Donald Trump the first time, that they've realized now he is not doing what he said he was going to do? My economics are worse.
So, I mean, like in Eastern Maine, our healthcare system is falling apart right now. And not in some like academic sense, but it's actually materially beginning to fail. We have hospitals that are going to be closing because of the Medicaid and Medicare cuts. And they were already holding on by a shoestring because frankly, for-profit healthcare in rural Maine does not work. The Trump tariffs have driven prices up for everybody across the board. I have friends of mine who voted for Donald Trump 3 times, who every single time I talk to them now tell me about how Trump is destroying the country because they're all builders and they have watched their costs go up 30-40%. And the people they buy materials from are telling them it's because of tariff uncertainty that the prices are this high. As material conditions deteriorate for working people, we as Democrats need to be armed with policies that can be cogently and easily explained as to why they're going to improve people's material lives. And we need to be relentless about those policies and relentless about messaging on that, and frankly, that alone. There are a lot of Republican voters in Eastern Maine who I'm friends with, who I know would absolutely vote for me as long as I stick to the idea of taxing the rich and using it to protect healthcare, using it to protect housing and bringing housing costs down, using it to expand Social Security. They all agree with these things. And many of the reasons that they've walked away from the Democratic Party is the Democratic Party stopped fighting for those things. But we need to, again, be the party that fights for that stuff. And I think if we do, working people in this country have the exact same material needs, regardless of who they voted for. And we need to be ready with open arms to bring a lot of people back who are going to realize that as working people, Donald Trump and right-wing populism do not have the answers for them. And we need to be there with the answers.
I'm all in. I want to vote for you today, right now. Tell our viewers and listeners how they can find you and donate to your campaign. And I just want to tell our viewers and listeners, I have donated as a resident of Oklahoma. I have donated to politicians in states that can make a difference, like Graham's race against Susan Collins, because it can have the biggest impact nationwide. So even if you live in some red state somewhere, this man can help your state by not normalizing the erosion of civil liberties that Susan Collins always and consistently votes for with her Supreme Court picks and all the fuckery with all the MAGA stuff with Trump. So tell our viewers and listeners how they can find you.
It doesn't matter how many MAGA regret their vote. as a result of Epstein. Doesn't matter. It's absolutely unimportant. I feel their plight. I'm glad they're coming around. I'm glad that they're starting to like wake up to some things. And I understand there's a lot of resistance to folks that was the thing that made them jump ship. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they're welcomed by with open arms or whether they're shunned. Nothing matters. Because someone saying that they regret their vote for Trump, it's bullshit right now. It's not going to matter until they're in a voting booth. That's when it matters. What the fuck are they going to do then? They going to vote for somebody else? They're going to go a different way? Have they learned their fucking lesson? Or are they kind of embarrassed now? And, you know, when it comes down to it, they're good Christians, so they're going to forgive and forget, you know, and they're just going to go ahead and vote whatever the fucking party line is. So, fuck them. It doesn't matter. They can jump ship, they can not, they can regret, they can not. Doesn't matter. You know what matters? Actions. Doing something.
And here's the thing. This is exactly why FAFO works so well in this context. You have got people out there screaming regret, and then you have voices like this saying nobody cares. And honestly, they're not wrong. This isn't just a moment of calm. It's a reflection of decades of decisions. When you vote for leaders who lie, cheat, and throw other people under the bus, don't expect anyone to hand you a participation trophy when reality catches up. What's fascinating here is the contrast. On one hand, some are begging for sympathy. On the other, the world is just like, yeah, this is what you get. And the lesson is brutal but simple. Action have consequences. And if you have been following the news, you know this isn't hypothetical. This is happening right now, in real time, and it's raw. People thought they were clever or untouchable, and now, well, FAFO. Alright, after all of that, what's the takeaway here? MAGA voters thought they were untouchable, thought they could vote for chaos and never face the consequences. But reality doesn't care about excuses. It hits hard and it hits fast. We saw some apologies, some laughs, and a whole lot of people realizing too late that FAFO isn't just a saying, it's a fact. You can't cheer for a distraction, mock others, and then expect to walk away untouched. And let's be real, a lot of these people haven't really changed. Some will probably go back to the same old patterns, thinking they got lucky or that they can cheat the system. But the damage is done, and the rest of the world, they are watching, taking notes, and laughing along the way. So here's the truth. Action have consequences. Voting for lies and chaos doesn't come without a cost, and seeing people finally face the reality, it's messy, it's satisfying, and it's the exactly definition of FAFO. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it so more people can see these reactions unfold. And remember, FAFO isn't just for MAGA voters. It's a lesson for anyone who thinks they're above the fallout. Thanks for watching, and stick around for more real reactions. No filters, no excuses. Let's keep it honest, let's keep it low, and let's keep watching FAFO in action. Thank you, and I appreciate you all. Wish you the best, and I wish you peace and love. See you to the next one. Bye-bye.